Hello, Tiger fans, Tiger people. Welcome back to another episode of Tiger Den. As I've mentioned in the last couple of episodes, we do have a big episode today. I've got the first guest of the year. You're gonna see his face plenty throughout the season, no doubt. But Joey, welcome to the channel. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thanks, Quinn. Thanks for having me, mate.
Oh, absolute pleasure. It's you actually gave me an inspiration for this sort of stuff I want to keep doing throughout the year, and it's sort of Richmond Tragics, bringing on other fans and discussing their stories and where they've all come from, because I feel like there's so many to go around, and you'll touch a bit more on that a bit later, no doubt. But in saying that, let's start with yourself. Tell us a bit about your Richmond story and why you started barracking for the Tigers. And yeah, we'll start with that, I guess. Why did you start barracking for Richmond?
Yeah, it's quite an odd one. Usually people go to, oh, it's all through family and stuff like that. Most of my family were Collingwood supporters,
Oh,
so putting up with their shit. But no, just through kindergarten, basically now heaps of kids now, they've got so much options. Back, 15, 20 years ago, it was all footy. That was it. When you grow up in Melbourne, it's just football. And we had a few players come down. I remember it was Mark Coughlin and Andrew Cracker came down there at kindergarten. They were just handballing, stuff like that. And I actually won a little Richmond footy. And since then, I've followed the club ever since, since I was 3, 4 years old, and love it, mate. It's the best club in the world.
it absolutely is. And that's a handy couple of players to have come down to your kindergarten. Mark Coughlin and Andrew Cracker. Coughlin
Yeah,
was one of those blokes that just, he was so unlucky he couldn't get on the park. He was constantly
yeah,
injured. But when he would have been a star, wouldn't he?
he was, yeah. All just injured all the time. Classy player, hard nut. Same as Cracker. I rated Cracker before he went to Collingwood when he was with us, and then yeah.
Yeah, another one, a little bit unfortunate. But obviously, like you said, that was a little while ago. Obviously, if Coughlin and Cracker were around in your kindergarten days, that is going back a little bit.
Oh,
But tell us a bit
jeez.
about your favorite player. Like we'll start with your favorite player of all time, and then we'll go your favorite current day player, because they might be different, they might not be. But who's your favorite
Well,
player of all time?
probably Trent Cotchin, but my favourite current player now is Robbie Tarrant. So sorry,
Oh, there you
Koch.
go.
No, Cotchin, yeah, he's just, it's weird because I see kids now that are sort of 6, 7, 8 years old, and they're still wanting the number 9 on their jersey, on their Guernsey. And I'm like, mate, that was me when I was your age, It's crazy how long he's lasted in the comp. Great player, but nah, Robbie Tarrant for me is my current favourite player.
Yeah, I can't believe how long Cochin's been around. Like, I mean, I know Robbie's been around a long time too, but Koch is just, I don't really remember Richmond too well without him being there. I just feel like he's always been around the club, and he
Yeah,
still feels a little bit like the captain to me as well. I still haven't fully I haven't bought into Dylan Grimes and Nank, but I'm still used to Cochin being the captain, I think.
yeah, Koch is just he's one of those people that he's always around. Really feel his presence, like whether it's on the field, off the field. He's such a, he's a great bloke and a great leader, great person.
Oh, absolutely. All of the above for sure. Another one similar, but what are some of your favorite Richmond memories? I mean, obviously the flags are probably going to be everyone's go-to, but if that's the option, like, let us know. But if there's something else, like
Oh,
what would your favorite memories be? You can just list a few as well.
favorite memory, I think every week as a supporter, if you get off at Richmond Station and that sea of yellow and black is just something that it happens every week, but it's something you really got to. And I think a lot of us take it for granted. Those who go every week, if you just sit back and just absorb the atmosphere, on a match day, it's something that, I've brought, people from overseas, interstate as well, and they're just like, shit, you know what I mean? It's just something that you can't explain. You have to experience it. And what you people realize is that all the problems go away. All your if you're struggling with mental health, or you've had a bad week, a bad day, that all goes away when you're getting off the station. I don't tap on, but tap on the mickey, and walk to the MCG. It's just something that, you can't, and not many clubs can replicate it. That's
No,
probably my,
it's
favorite memories.
And I love that you've gone with that too, because like I said, the obvious ones would have been just the premierships, and it's easy to say that, but it's one of those things. I think everybody starts to appreciate it round 1, round 2, when they start filtering back in the footy. But then by round 5 and 6, I feel like you're right. People start to take it for granted again because it's just becomes second nature or the norm. But I think I couldn't agree with you more. I mean, the amount of times I've gone to the game, and especially when it's against an away team and it's just Richmond supporters everywhere, it just feels
Yeah.
it's something different. And we are one of the big 4 clubs in the comp, obviously, and with the amount of members we've got, it's incredible.
And I think what I love most about that, Quinn, is it's one big family, if that makes sense. Like, during COVID, people would have been isolated and, I know we've gone past that now, but to be a part of, 50, 60,000 people where there's no conflict, you know, um, it's just something that's really special. And that's why, well, that's the reason why I love Richmond so much.
Absolutely. And you're right. The family aspect is huge. I mean, for me, my Richmond, same as like you said before, my Richmond journey started because family or Richmond supporters, but it goes beyond that. Even a quick one, like when I was at the 2017 grand final, like I was hugging just strangers. I know everybody was doing similar stuff, but from then on, I just feel like I've been more open to sort of, and you don't realize how open other people are too, but everyone's so willing to reciprocate the love that we all have for Richmond and get around each other. And it's an incredible
And,
feeling.
and that's it. It's whether you've gone for 50, 60, whether it's your first game, you're a part of it in some way, if that makes sense. And that's why I really love getting involved and, helping out where I can and just chatting with all types of supporters, because at the end of the day, you don't know what people go through outside footy. Like I speak to heaps of people and they're like, how you been? Everyone just says the same thing. Yeah, all right, good mate. Sometimes it's not always the case, but speaking about Richmond just makes everyone. It makes myself happy, and I'm sure it makes everyone else happy.
Oh, absolutely. And you're right. It's a world away from the real world, if that makes sense. It sort of takes you away and it lets
Yes,
you focus on just football. And for that certain period of time, your mood will reflect how the game is going almost. Like if Richmond's getting pumped,
well,
then you might dip down a little bit. But if Richmond's up and about, then your mood just goes through the roof and it's unbelievable. And
that's
it
it.
sort of stays like that almost for the rest of the day or rest of the weekend, depending how well it was. So it was, yeah, no, you're right. It's really something very special. But we're nearly there. We're so close to being back to the season
Sure.
again. I'm pretty sure today is 16 days from round 1, and it's coming in hot. It's coming in really hot. And the weekend just gone past, we had the pracky match or a scratch match, the first scratch match against North Melbourne. I know a lot of people got down to Arden Street, and I don't think either of us managed to get down there. But did you manage to catch any of the game? And if so, did you? What did you think? Who impressed you?
Um, I really thought we played well. I thought, I don't take the score into account in practice games. I feel that if we just, set up well defensively, do the little things, that's what I take out of it. And the young kids as well, the players we're developing. For example, Samson Ryan, I thought played well. He kicked 2 goals, and in my opinion, I think he's in our best 22 for round 1. I'm not sure what you think, but for me, he's in my best 22.
I think he's definitely pushing his case. I think especially if Lynch's foot isn't quite where it's supposed to be, I reckon he's every chance to get the call up. And I haven't seen enough of him
Yeah.
yet to have my 100% backing. But what I have seen has really impressed me. He's bulked up his side since he debuted. I know he's only played the one senior game, but since he's debuted, he's come leaps and bounds from where he was then. So
Yeah.
I think if he doesn't come in round 1, he wouldn't be far off coming in the
Yeah.
weeks following. So I reckon he's really close. What did you think about? If you saw much of them, the new boys, Taranto and Hopper? I know they're the big ones everyone was watching.
Oh, geez. They're two players that can. I think they could be the difference on whether we win the flag or not this year, Quinn. They're both and they both provide different things. And they really improve the culture of the club as well. I feel they're just such great players. Taranto's just, I think, someone who in that midfield as a clearance player is probably the best I've seen in 15 years at Richmond, and he's not played a game yet. Um, I'll tell you something. We had a pracky game, an intra-club, sorry, and he wore the number 11, and I go, shit, Castagna's been outstanding. And he goes, no, he was like, because he wore the number 11, you can't really see, too well from where I was standing. I go, geez, Castagna's, he's going to win our BNF, but no, it was actually Taranto. So that goes to show how well, he's been throughout this preseason.
Yeah, absolutely. He looks like he's just going to tear the game apart, doesn't he? He's lurking. He's just lurking. That one he got off Koch, and he got the handball off Koch and check side of the goal. I
Oh,
mean, like you said, you don't take it too seriously because it's a practice match, but you can't help but get excited when you see little things like that. And then same as Hopper, just winning the hard ball, the clearances. He's not necessarily going to be the cleanest player with the ball, but he's going to win a lot of the footy. And I think that's what we need and what we're probably missing. And I can't agree with you more in the fact that I think whether or not we can win the flag, I think will depend on how well these guys impact our side.
yeah, exactly. And I'll be honest, that first when we got him at first, I thought, I was always a bit, with big trades, you just never know, is it too much of a risk? But no, just from what I've seen off of pre-season, they're both, fantastic, fantastic players, and they'll really bolster that midfield. With
Absolutely.
Koch going down forward, Martin not getting any younger. Yeah, no, I'm very excited, very excited.
Well, you touched on coaching going forward. It's been spoken about a lot in the media. Personally, I am a fan of it. I do think that Cochin's the type of player that has the potential to reinvent himself. What are your thoughts on Cochin the forward line? I know you've seen a few of the practice matches and he's been trialling up there.
Well, he kicked 8 goals in 2 of our intra clubs, Quinn. And I don't know if people watching would know this. Back when he played this is a long time ago. Back when he first started in his first year, when he played at Coburg, he was a forward. And even in that Brownlow year where he won the Brownlow in 2012, I think he kicked 25 goals, 26 goals. So I rate it, and like I said, I trust Hardwick with my life, and Teague and Truck. So no, I think it's a good move, Quinn.
No, absolutely. I reckon there's some players that you just look at and you don't think they've got the caliber to reinvent themselves. But like we spoke about, Cochin's just that type of player that has every chance to be able to do that, even this late into his career. And I'm so excited to see where he slots in because we've got so many good forwards at the moment. You obviously got your Keys and Tom and Jack, but then you've got Morris, Noah Cumberland, Shea Bolton. Like, how does Koch fit into the lineup? It's just going to be exciting to see. And I think it's such a great problem to have with all these big names. You've got to fit into one forward line.
Well, that's exactly right. And I think, I don't think he'll play more than 16, 17 games, Koch, in the home and away season, depending how far we go in finals, of course, but you never know. So I think it's a very good move. Same with Martin as well. I wouldn't mind him, resting the odd game here and there. Similar to what Geelong did last year with Selwood, Danger and those types of blokes.
Yeah, I think we probably will go down that route as well. We saw how well it worked for the Cats last year. And like you said, our boys aren't getting any younger. But speaking of this season, it's the big question. I mean, everyone's got different expectations for the Tigers this year. And in your eyes, what's your pass mark and what's your fail mark for the season? What would make you be happy with the end of the year?
I see what would make me happy. I think progress of our young players. I think our VFL program's really, really strong. We've got a good coach, Steve Morris. So in terms of that, progress in the young boys, making sure we've got enough cover when Martin, Jack and Koch eventually do go. So, but no, I think a pass mark will be to make a prelim, prelim, semi-final. For me, in finals, you never know. But I think, getting there would be great in the first place. And the failure mark is not making finals, I think. I think the team is good enough to make finals, and a team with those type of players, Taranto, Lynch, I'll be here forever. But no, I think this team should be making finals easily.
Yeah, I think I completely agree with you as well. I think for mine, we have to win a final. That's the big one for me after last year. Well,
Yeah.
we're so close, obviously ended in controversy and heartbreak, but I think winning a final is definitely it's a must for me. And I think I don't want to sound too ambitious, but yeah, I agree. I think playing in a prelim for me is definitely a pass mark. I think if we can get there, that's huge. Back us in every day of the week in that kind of a big game because we've been there before. So it's exciting. And yeah, if we don't play finals, for me, that's the same as you. That's a massive failure. With the list that we've got, it's probably one of the last chances for a lot of these older guys as well. It's sort of now or never for some of these boys. So yeah, I have to agree with you. I think that's that's sort of the pass and failure marks, and we pretty much line up with those ones, which is cool. So Always good to
Yeah.
hear that sort of stuff. Obviously, we've got some big stars, but one player I'm really excited about is Hugo Smith and just where he fits into the team, because again, that halfback position, it's hard to fill. You got Rioli killing it at the moment. Jaden Short plays really well off there. Hugo is obviously he probably just is verging being in or just outside of the 22. What are your expectations for someone like him this year? Does he crack and play most games or?
He played 13 games last season. I think he should be aiming for at least 17, 18. I think he's a quality player. He's still got room for improvement, like many other players. Everyone in our team has room for improvement. But no, I think he's a very good player, very pacey, and I think the skills that he has is what a lot of other clubs lack. And I think what he provides to us is something different with his speed and ball carrying.
No, it absolutely is. It was one I wanted to ask because the Tigers, just before recording that, posted a video and I had Hugo in it, and I can't get him out of my head. I'm trying to figure out where he slots into the side, and I can't wait to see him play a lot more footy this year. So I wanted to run that by. But like I mentioned before, 16 days till round one, and it's mind blowing how close we actually are now. And watching the boys and all the rest of it, we've got a practice match this week against the D's. I'm hoping to get there myself. It'd be good if I can make the trek down there. But if I can't, then the next game is round one against the Blues, who for the first time, last year they did as well, but before that, it's been a long time since they've looked threatening. What are your thoughts on how round one will shape up? What do you think how do you think the matchups will be, and do you think we can get the job done?
I hate Carlton, but I'm so glad that they're up and about, because it's the first time, I don't know about you, in my lifetime, where both teams are, expected to go really deep into September. I'm just so excited for it, mate. Like I'm predicting maybe 88 to 90,000. It's just going to be packed, and just seeing everyone back at the footy, you're getting big crowds. It's just something. Richmond Carlton's always a game where, you beat them, you're happy for 8 weeks. Doesn't matter what other results, we get. So yeah, just can't wait for it, mate. Yourself?
Oh, I'm exactly the same. It's I'm surrounded by a lot of Carlton supporters in my life, so I'm constantly flooded by them at this stage. But like you said, it's the first time in my lifetime as well that both teams have been really good at the same time. I think, maybe early 2000s. I can't even remember, but I'm pretty sure this is the first time I can vividly remember that we're both really good, because it's been sort of one way or the other. I remember before 2013, we were getting pumped every round one by the Blues, and it was. I still remember being there. The game, Brock McLean, I'm pretty sure was kicked a goal by accident. He was trying to center it in the middle, went over everyone's head, and they won by a few points. And it was like, I remember bawling my eyes out that game. And then obviously 2013, we win a round one for the first time in years, and then they knock us off in the elimination final, which they still go on about, these Carlton supporters, but I don't blame them. It was a huge game. I remember being there. It was nuts. So it's the rivalry has been strong, but then since then we've pretty much won every game we've played apart from the round one last year. So it's finally even again, and it's I'm excited. I think we can get the job done. It just depends who's playing, and it's tough, because obviously Carlton looks like they'll be missing Sam Walsh, but who knows who we're going to have, who we're not going to have. 16 days, it doesn't sound like much, but there's so much room for change in what your predicted list would be. So I'm excited nonetheless.
Yeah.
Like you said, I think we're guaranteed 88 plus for sure at the ground. And I can't believe the AFL last year tried to scrap Richmond Carlton as the first game of the season. It's a guaranteed sellout every year. I mean, maybe it's biased being Richmond supporters, but it's a sellout game every year. Even when both teams are bad, or one team's bad and the other's good, it gets a big crowd regardless. So I think it's silly not to have us two as the opening match. But this year is sort of more important than it was last year, because we only play each other once. So last year we had a chance at redemption, but this year it's now or never. So it's it's all on the line, but I can't wait. It's going to be incredible.
And if we lose that, they'll bring it up for another 10, 15 years.
Wow, exactly like the last time we lost. It
That's
doesn't
the thing.
end. It doesn't end. So.
Mate, they just carry on, and I just don't want to. It's good for the comp though. Like I said, it's just good banter. But geez, if we lose that, call the season. Bring back the cricket.
Yeah, where's the big bash when you needed it?
Bring back the cricket. Yeah, the big bash.
Yeah, bring it back. Well, like you mentioned as well, Carlton are up and about, but so are the Pies. So you got three of the big four clubs are killing it at the moment. So the comp's in a really good position. And that's why I think if we can make an impact and go deep this year, it'd be something really special just because of the caliber of teams around us. So really looking forward to that. But we'll get into a bit about, I want you to tell us sort of everybody about a bit what you do. I know you do a bit of work with the club. So tell us a bit what you do there and go through some of your favorite stories you've heard from other fans, because I think they're
Oh,
really important into growing the community, as a club and all the rest of it. So go through a bit about what you do there.
yeah, so I work in the raw store at the moment, and oh mate, it just doesn't feel like work. It is the best job um, anyone can ask for. You walk in, you talk with people, and you realize that holy shit, so many people are like myself, and so many people, think the same things, and everyone has different opinions, and it's like I said, Quinn, it's just amazing to be friends with customers, if that makes sense. I've got know some by their first name. We chat, we message each other, how you been? It's just no, it's a really special job, and I love it. I'll never take it for granted.
Oh, absolutely. It's I think any job almost like on face value working with inside the Richmond Footy Club seems like it'd be an absolute dream, but
Yeah,
especially one like yours where you get to interact directly with other fans and people you can relate to, I think is something really, really special. And no doubt you've heard some incredible Richmond stories over the years, especially with the
cool.
success we've had recently. Are there any stories that stick out in your mind that would be some of your favorites that you
Yeah,
just think, wow, like I can't believe like that's incredible.
I'll tell you one. There was a bloke called John. Um, can't remember his last name. He's a very nice bloke, very gentleman, absolute gentleman. And he walked in. He's waddling in. He's a big fella. Go, how you been, mate? Good, good. You ready for? This was just after the Brisbane loss, and he's like, oh yeah, I was, fuck. And he's, I go, no, it's all right. I mean, next year, hopefully, get Torino and Hopper, reshape this and that. And then one thing led to another. He goes, oh, okay, what's for dinner tonight, mate? It was about 5 o'clock. I just asked. He goes, oh, look, I'm trying to lose a bit of weight. I saw him 2 weeks later, Quinn. He's looking as good as you, mate. He looks $1,000,000, and yeah. And that's another. It's just more on a personal level, with the connection that you make with supporters. Like I said, they're like my best. Every single one is like family to me, like me brothers and sisters, and that's one thing I love. But like I said, plenty of stories that they've been telling me throughout. There's always one that's been a member for 65 years, and then you check them up on the system, it only hasn't been a member for 2 years. There's so many stories, mate. So many. You meet some characters, but that's what I love. I love interacting with people, and like I said, mate, love it mainly for the kids, the adults, everyone, mate.
Oh, absolutely. And I think that's part of what I'm trying to help do here. And that's why I loved when you were happy to jump on board, because I think growing the Richmond community is something really special. And obviously it does exist within just, the fan base in general. But if we can find a platform and a way to bring everybody together and a place that we can all get around each other, I think that's something really special. So, someone like yourself trying to help me out, just do what we're doing here is going to be awesome. And I can't wait for
Yeah,
what's to come for the rest of the year, man. Because I think it's just going to be,
mate.
it's going to be awesome. Especially if we're up and about and we're flying. There's going to be a lot of people that want to talk about
Oh,
Richmond.
mate, that's it. And like we touched on it before. Early on in the show, it's just amazing how everyone has some sort of issues. Personal issues, relationship issues, family issues. But when it comes to football and watching Richmond play or any sport, it all goes away. And like I said, if anyone's suffering watching the show, feel free to message me or Quinn, and we're always always wanting to talk footy or anything, mate.
Oh, absolutely. And that, yeah, I'll always say that if anyone does want to reach out and have a chat, like I'm always happy to whenever. So, especially if it's about Richmond. If it's not, I'm still happy to chat. But if it's
Yeah.
about Richmond, especially, like I'm always
Oh,
open
not
for a chat. And
not as much.
yeah, but you know what I mean. But you always get it's fun. Like, starting this, I've gotten some bizarre messages about Richmond that and I'm like, wow, like, I'm loving this. I'm having a genuine conversation right now with somebody that I've like, you know what I mean? I've never
Yeah,
met in my life. I don't know anything about, and we're just chatting about the Tigers nonstop. And their regular
yeah.
messages that come through after the Pracky match. Straight away, what'd you think of the first quarter? What'd you think of the first period? I was like, oh, I haven't even started watching yet. Let me quickly jump online so I can have a chat with you about it. But it's just, I
I've
love the
recorded
enthusiasm. Yeah, exactly. So I love the enthusiasm.
it.
It's awesome. It's something special, and it's something I can't wait to, to help grow this year. So that's yeah, it's gonna be something exciting. But that's pretty much all we got for this episode, Joey. I know we're gonna have a lot more interaction throughout the season. Obviously, we speak a lot, just us two, but get you a bit more involved with the channel, which is gonna be exciting. I can't wait for what's to come. But I can't wait. Like I said, there's only a few more videos I'm going to be dropping until round one comes, and then we're right back into the swing of things. So it's going to be huge. It's going to be huge. So again, mate, thank you very much for jumping on. I really appreciate you sharing your time with me and all the viewers as well.
No worries, no worries. And like I said, thanks everyone for watching, and feel free, like I said, give me or Quinn a message and, get to it.
Absolutely. Can't wait. Well, mate, that's it's all we got for today. Everybody, thank you again for watching. And we'll be back very shortly with some more content leading into round one. So go Tigers.